GameStop ran over 100% between yesterday and today, and then it just lost about 45% of those gains. I'm gonna go over what happened, what reports were just released that caused this huge swing in prices. And I'm gonna go over some key levels. I'm a technical trader, so I like to look at key zones where you should be looking if you plan on trading or investing in GME. Before I go over any of that, I wanna say, if you are investing in GameStop, just know it's an extremely volatile stock, and you need to make sure you're taking profits and you're investing with money that you can afford to lose, because chances are there's a higher chance that you'll lose that money than make profit on it, only due to this huge volatility. So be very careful with trading. And now let's get into it. So we had a report released this morning. GameStop had earnings planned for the 11th, but for some reason they decided to release the reports today. Some people think that it's kind of messed up because of all the volatility, and after Roaring Kitty announced that he is going to go live this afternoon. But GameStop is saying they released the earnings report early because of the volatility, and they want their investors to be prepared for the earnings. They don't want to blindside them thinking that GameStop is doing really well when they know they're actually not doing that great. So let's quickly go over what reports were actually released. So you can see here that GameStop filed to sell up to 75 million shares. So this is not $75 million worth, but 75 million shares. And that's kind of their way of building money. And that kind of tells investors that this company is not doing that well. And they also showed their earnings and revenue. So revenue was reported at 882 million. And I think the consensus was around 995 million to a billion. So a huge loss on revenue and on earnings itself. So this is not good for those who are planning on this huge squeeze. So now we have two catalysts. We have Roaring Kitty, who's going live at 12 p.m. Just talking about GameStop, how he feels about it. We don't know exactly why he's going live. Maybe he's gonna sell his shares. And now we have the actual earnings that show that the company is not doing that great, and that's causing the sell-off. So we have some buying pressure from the retail side. We have selling pressure from investors and smart money. So we're gonna see who wins this battle, but so far it looks like there's more selling than buying this morning. I want to go over some key levels that you need to be watching for today. So these are some key levels that I made yesterday, and we can see where those supply levels are, where those demand levels are, and those levels have been respected. So if we go on the charts, this $32 level right here was a strong zone that I have been watching, and this is where a lot of buyers have been, or a lot of sellers have been sitting. If we go back, let me show you guys. If we go back to when we first seen that bull run or that breakout, we seen that it struggled around that $32 area, and then it found support there. And then that's kind of the area where we struggled. We came here, found some resistance, and when we come closer, we can see we found resistance there, found resistance there. This played as a nice supply levels, and those sellers kept stepping up. So we were just waiting for that breakout, which finally happened yesterday, and the catalyst was Roaring Kitty posting on Twitter that he was going to be going live on his YouTube after 3 years of not posting. So we finally had that catalyst. We broke above that $32 level, and now the key zones to watch were $47, $48 and $65. And if we go higher, we have a key zone at $88. But we surged past $48 at the close. So we can see we came to this level, found a little resistance, but after the close, 5 p.m., we broke through this level. And then we sat at this $65 level-ish, and all we needed to do was break that level. Then GameStop released that report, and we can see the sell-off that followed. Now, the key levels that we need to be watching, once again, is this $32 level. If we can hold this $32 level, this thing can start pushing up again and trade between this and $48. And if the live stream, if he says something that causes some positive pressure for GameStop, the key zones that I would watch is a break of 48, a break of 65, a hold of 32. But if we lose $32, this thing can push down back to $20. And if we lose $20, then we go back to the lows. And the thing is, Roaring Kitty, the calls, the option calls that he's holding expire June 21st, and they are $20 calls. So those shorts, what they would like to see is to push GameStop below $20, forcing him to either sell early, or if he decides to exercise those shares, it would mean that he would be net negative. If shares drop below $20, his call options would no longer be in the money. So these are some strong zones to watch for today. And like I said before, do not invest in with money that you cannot afford to lose, because as we've seen, this thing ran up 100% and pulled back 50%. And if it pulls back a little lower, we're back at that same level that we opened at yesterday. So this is an extremely volatile stock, and the options are even more volatile because of the IV. So now that earnings are out, that implied volatility is going to drop. That volatility, or the unknown factor because of earnings, is no longer there, right? So guys, I'm going to be posting in my private group the key zones once we start hitting those levels, if I take any positions, anything like that. So if you guys want to see that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. And I have an alert here for NQ. I think, yep, so it's 8:33. So we have the jobs report that just came out. If you are trading, make sure you check that report and see how we're looking before you take any trades this morning. All right, guys, peace.